Hello everyone, welcome back to Crafts by the Bow. Today I'm going to make some cards, but I'm actually showing the technique of how to make the cards rather than a specific card. And what I'm going to make is this double wonder card. Now this starts off with two 6x12 inch pieces of DSP, and it's a set of cards that Shannon West, let me move these so you can see who I'm talking about. Shannon West, who works at Stampin Up, she devised this particular template, and then a lady called Julie Davison, who's a Stampin Up demonstrator, she made the graphic for it just to make it easier for everybody to see how to make them. And I've made what we call wonder sheets or wonder cards before, where you have a piece of 12x12 DSP and you cut it into lots of different pieces so that you can make maybe a dozen cards from just one sheet of paper, and that way your paper goes a long way. And this method just follows on from that. You have two 6x12 inch pieces, and you can have both the same or you can have different paper. And while I was planning this yesterday, Stampin' Up brought out a new digital format for a stamp set. So there's no actual stamps, but it's a PDF download, and it's called Sharesunshine. And what it is a set of digital images all related to COVID. So lots and lots. I think there's 15 whole pages of these stamps, and it's a $12 purchase. But what happens with the purchase is the 100% of your purchase for it all goes to COVID-19 funds, and you can either choose to donate to the World Health Organization or to United Way, or you can choose to give half of the money to World Health and half to United Way. So it's really helping with COVID research and helping people who need it. So I bought mine yesterday, and I started to have a look at it last night. And what I did was I printed it all out just on copy paper. And that was so that I could just look at each piece and see what I wanted and see which of my punches might fit, or which of my dies I wanted to use, and which of my cards I wanted to put these sentiments on. And a lot of you might know that I've been making cards for my husband to take to work. He works in a hospital, and he's been giving cards to all the essential workers there, the nurses, the house cleaning staff, the security officers, nursing managers, unit clerks, just to say thank you for them for being in there at the moment and working. And so I'm making some more of those cards, and these are going to be just perfect for that. And when you do get the PDF, the first couple of pages will tell you, so this is the first page of the digital images, and it will tell you what colours they've used on here, and what you can cut them out with, whether it's the layering circles and the stitch rectangles. But don't worry if you don't have those, because a lot of our punches and dies already fit. So if you have dies and punches at home, they will probably fit a lot of these images too. So because I'm trying to do two things and show you that PDF and the double wonder cards, I'm making my cards and using that PDF. So this is the first set of cards that I made this morning. And I used some older paper, as you can see, and one 6x12 piece of paper makes all of these cards and gives you a little bit left over ready for another card. And so it makes two of these little folds, two of this design, one of these, and then it has the little piece that's left over that when you do your other 6x12 piece, you cut those little pieces in half, and it makes this last little bonus card here. Now when Julie designed this, and and she did the graphic for us. Fortunately, she gave all the layout information as well, so that you don't even have to think about that. It tells you what size cards you need, whether you need a ribbon, what you need to add as a greeting, and everything. So Julie, thank you. You've saved us such a lot of work, and it really is a pretty little template. Now I chose to use a piece from Ornate Garden for my second set of cards. And you can see it's cut at 6 by 12, and I'm going to do the cutting of the pieces with you. It can be a bit tricky, and it's certainly easily explained, but once you've done the first set, then it's dead easy. It's looking at the template and thinking, oh, how do I cut that next? But honestly, after the first one, it's dead easy. So this first piece, it's 6 by 12, and we're going to put the 12-inch side at the top, and we're going to cut it at 3.5. So here's my 3.5 piece. So that fits on there, and I'm going to do the other cuts while we're here. So we're going to cut it at 1.5 from the bottom. So let's open this again. And I found it easier to cut and put my pieces back on here, so that when I came to make the cards and it says you need this piece, and this piece, I know exactly which pieces they were. Okay, so then this piece we're going to just cut in half at 2.25. So this will give you two pieces exactly the same size. Okay, so that's that piece cut. This next piece, we're going to cut it across at 4 inches. So I'm just cutting. I'm checking that I did it the right size. Yep, 4 inches. And it needs a little piece off the bottom at 3/4 of an inch. So I just line that up in my trimmer. It looks complicated the first time you do it, but honestly it really isn't. Okay, and then these pieces, which is this piece that's left, they're cut at 1 inch. So I'm just going to put them in the trimmer. Cut them all at 1 inch. Okay. Let's put them there. I'm just putting them back so that I know that they fit, and I've got all the pieces in the right place. Okay, and then the last piece, what we need to do is just cut it in half. Let me just move those so they're straight. And it's just cut at 3 inches. And then each of these pieces is cut at 1.5. And when we come to use these pieces, we will turn some of them over so that we're using the back as well. It won't all be this same pattern. Okay, so I'm going to cut these at 1.5 as well. Okay, so now we've got all of our pieces cut. I don't need the trimmer anymore. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move these pieces up here a little bit, so I've got some room to work, but I know just where they come from. I know what the pieces are now. There. What I did next was I gathered some cardstock that I already had cut in these colours. So I've got 2 pieces of early espresso, I've got 2 pieces of terracotta tile, and I've got 1 piece of the old olive. And then I'm just going to move those right out of the way so that you can see a bit better. Okay. So first of all, the first one that I'm going to make is this one, because this says layout number 1, 4 cards, and you need a piece of cardstock as a backing, and then your card base. So let me see where I've put those pieces. Here we go. So for that, I've chosen the terracotta tile, and I've cut my matching piece in early espresso, and it's these pieces here. Okay. Now you can choose just which way round you have these papers. You can have them all the same, you can alternate. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to alternate them, so that will become your front. But if you want them all the same, that works really pretty as well. And then it makes 2 cards, so you could make the other one different. You could make it like this. You could alternate again. I'm only going to make the 1 card with you, but just know that the other one is made in exactly the same way. Okay, so let's find some glue, some liquid glue, and let's attach these. It's a really easy one-sheet wonder, and it's a little bit different to some of the other ones I've made. The other ones I've made, you have maybe, oh, which way did that go? That way. You have like triangles or little 1-inch squares, and everybody makes theirs a little bit different. And if you decide that you really like this method, there's lots and lots of ideas on Pinterest for how to make one. Some people make them with a 6x6 piece rather than a 12x12. But it's a really good way of getting the most out of your DSP. Okay, I'm going to put this on the other way. Yeah, I'm going to put it the other way. Oops. Okay. And let me find the ones that I made in this design before. You can see one I put twine round, one I put a little piece of ribbon on, that little burlap ribbon. And so I'm going to do the same kind of thing with it. I've got ribbon that comes with this suite. I've got twine that could go over it. You don't have to put ribbon on at all. And I've also got some of the sentiments that I cut out. I think I'm going to put this one on here because it's got those same early espresso and this terracotta tile. So then before I decide what I want to put behind it, I think if you put your sentiment there first, it makes it easier. I've also got some of this white flax ribbon. Let's see what that looks like. Oh, I think I'm just going to put this white on. Okay, so let's... I don't need much of anything. I'm going to pop that on, and I need to put it on with tear and tape. It sticks much better with tear and tape. Just pop that across the middle. And honestly, once you get your papers cut and your backing cards made and everything, they come together really quickly. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to just attach this. This little pea PDF of the Share Sunshine. It's got birthday sentiments, sort of I miss you sentiments, I love you sentiments. So lots of different occasions that you could use it for at the moment. Okay, I'm going to pop this on here with dimensionals. Just put some at the top. And I'm going to put them top and bottom so that I'm able to catch some of the paper on there. What you could do as well was use one of the punches, sort of like a leaf punch, and you could have little embellishments behind. You could add pearls, or let's put that there, little bow ribbons there. So that's my first one with that design. Really quick, really easy, and a great template to use. Okay, so let's have a look at the next one. I will go back and finish all of these and put the card in the middle and everything. Okay, so number 2, let's see. Number 2 is this one. Okay, and for this I've chosen, early espresso. And it's folded in the middle, just as normal. And then you also score at, I think it was 1 1/4. Yes, it is 1 1/4. And this piece bends back. Let me just find my, where's my bone folder? Here we are. So it bends back. Okay, now we're going to put these strips, 2 of these strips on here. And I'm alternating mine. You can put them both the same, but I'm not going to alternate mine. But I found that I didn't like this flapping up, so I like that stuck down. But before I stick it down, I'm going to do just a little bit of stamping with Versamark. Now, let me find where my Versamark is. Here we are. I've taken a simple thanks from another stamp set. I think it's actually from a paper pumpkin. And I found that on the lighter colours, this card, it needed a little bit of something at the left-hand side. So all I'm doing is I'm going to stamp thanks with Versamark so that it takes on the colour of the card. And I don't have to worry about finding a matching ink. So I've stamped those 3. And then I just stamped one a little bit off, away from the edge, and that's all I did. And let me find that card. Here we go. So that's how it looks on the lighter card. Excuse me. I found it just needed a little bit of something. And now I'm going to attach this. Fold that right over. Just go down with my bone folder to make sure that it's sort of burnished really nicely and it's laying flat. And then I've got my 2 pieces of DSP. One of them goes on this little folded over edge. And I do like how that early espresso brings out the colours in this paper. And then this one I'm going to attach here. Now, if you use a darker card like this one that I've done, you will probably need to put a little piece of Whisper White inside for you to write on. If you use a lighter card like the white ones or even the crumb cake that I used here, you won't need a piece to write on. But later on I shall just cut a little piece of Whisper White that fits in there for me to do my message. I'm going to have to put the lid on here. Okay, and then I will probably put something like this or this one, and I might cut some vellum leaves just to go behind here. I think that would look quite nice. I haven't got my punch out right now, but I'll punch them out and stick them on for when I do the photograph at the end, so you'll see them. But that would be my card. And this little edge here would almost be like a flap because it wouldn't be adhered right down. Okay, so that's the second card, and you would make 2 of those as well. And then let's move these. The third card would be this one. Now, you're probably thinking, well, where's that big piece of paper? She didn't cut one of those, and I didn't cut one of those, but I'll show you how it works. And for this, I've got my old olive. And I'll need to put a little piece of white inside so that I can write on there. And you also need the same little piece of white on the outside. But before I attach that, I'm going to do the designer series paper. And the 2 pieces we need are these 2 pieces from here. And we also need that little strip. You remember that little strip that was left from the bottom of these long pieces? We need that to go across the middle. So I'm going to attach this one. And leave a nice little border. I'm just going to line it up and make sure that my side borders and my top border is the same. And then I've got the other piece. And they're not going to join up in the middle. So don't make the mistake of putting both pieces together. This is going to go down towards the bottom. The same distance all the way around. And then this little piece is going to go across here. But I'm going to do the alternating colour. Now you only get enough pieces to make one of these. Let's check if that's straight. I don't think my border's quite the same at the right and the left, but that's okay. Okay, and then this piece will attach to the front of that old olive card that we started with. Okay, and again, we're just going to attach a little sentiment. You could cut out some more of those leaves, little sprigs of flowers. If you're doing a punched shape, you could put a backing on as well, or even with the die cuts, you can cut this out and then do a border in a matching colour to go over the top. I think whatever you choose, you know, it's a really nice little layout. Yeah, that looks quite nice on there. You could even, because this is a daisy paper, you could even use your daisy punch and make a daisy for the bottom. I think that would look good too. And then remember I said that you would have a little piece left over, and that's this bottom left hand corner. If you cut that in half and you also cut the other piece you have left over from the first piece of DSP, then you get 4 little squares, and what they've done is put all 4 little squares together here with another sentiment there. So that's it. Have a look. I will leave the link for Julie's graphic here, and if you want to look on YouTube, I think she also does have a video showing how to make every single card. And then I'll also put the link on for the Sending Sunshine digital set. If you've got any questions at all about it, just pop me a message on and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks for watching, everybody. I really do appreciate it. I hope you have a wonderful Wednesday, and I'll see you all again on Sunday. Take care. Bye-bye.